Hey, it looks like we're on, Jody, and it's, what is it, Men's Mental Health Awareness Month?
Happy Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Happy Juneteenth month. Happy Pappy's Day month. Happy Pride month.
Okay, I think those are enough months. Let's start the show.
Audio Jungle.
All right, we're back. This is the CSRN. The camera's right there. All right. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review, where we come to you live from Mott Branch Library to talk about the things that we've done last week, the things that we're working on right now, and a few things that's coming up in the future. Jody, before we click on to our intro video, man, there's a couple of things that we talked about earlier off the mic that you wanted to share.
Yep. First off, I want to have a moment of silence for the tragedy that happened last weekend at the 53rd Old West End Festival. It was a hideous thing that happened to the victims and the families and everybody else. We are praying for you. You are in our prayers. And to two very important women that I've seen across social media that were there at the moment, I want to give a great shout out to Black nurses.
Yeah, let's go.
So Whitney Sierra and Sierra Renee Wells. Thank you very much for your service and helping aid on the scene while, you know, as she said, I believe it was, you just start helping, and that's what they did. So a moment of silence for them before we go into our intro. And my prayers is with my city. All right, let's start the show.
All right. Let's click on our intro video. That way you can like, share, and comment. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
Not guilty.
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. It was freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
The Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. And our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right, welcome back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. And as we said earlier, Jody, before we took our short break or before we played our intro video, we stream live from Mott Branch Library. So what you see now is really what you're going to get until we edit the short clips. So if there's some mistakes, which there's going to be many, if there's some technical difficulties, which most likely will be a few, hey, you'll see it here first. Hey, let's get into some intros. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. 14 years ago, they had the idea. Is it 14 or 12 years ago? It was a long time ago.
12.
All right. They had the idea of community solidarity, and then they asked me to help with a couple of events. We ended up having these events on Tuesday. So 12 years later, we're still here. And also I'm an active and registered member of the Nation of Islam here in Toledo. So if you drive by Brown in Nebraska, if you see our building, looks like somebody hit it with a hammer, a really big hammer. We're working on it. We're working on it. And shout out to the Padua Center right now that's allowing us to meet here. What am I wearing? I've got on my purple shirt. I've got my white hat on. I've got my glasses from Optical, Twix in Between. So shout out to Kristen Moncrief for being able to have that mobile bus. She could come to you or you come to her location at Bancroft Franklin. I've got my beads on. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. And we felt that it was time that we create our own platform to really talk about some of the things that we need to create some awareness for, and also invite some really interesting people that I really believe that they don't necessarily get to shine because they're really not looking for it. So, and it's Men's Mental Health Month. So we're going to get help today. But Jody, you're going to get help today, and I'll probably get helped just by the help residue. Hey, listen, I'm done with my intro. If you could get your intro in, and then we'll get into our mission statement and guiding principles and get back to our guests.
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, the treasurer of this organization, and somewhat the art and soul and creative weird guy behind a lot of the stuff that you can see in the streets or things like that. The somewhat photographer of the page, and I apologize so much.
Yes. For having your thumb in every picture.
Well, not only that, but so this would be 3 shows I'm behind of posting to online, because if anybody that doesn't know, when you see me at the show, I'm not distracted or on TikTok doom scrolling. I'm actually making sure all this works, trying to post to people, emails, YouTube, controlling the Instagram and all that stuff, trying to at least give people a moment or put it in like 93 groups. So you get a chance to see it or get a chance to watch the playback, make sure that the YouTube's going on good and the sound and stuff. So there will be more pictures eventually. I'll throw up the several hundred people we've had over the last couple of years, since I haven't necessarily put them on our page. They just kind of go to my page and then float away. But I want to thank you for coming back each and every single week, every Tuesday. It's a pleasure to have you. It's a mission for us. It's a kind of job for us. As anybody knows, for the last 12 years, I don't take this day off, no matter what's going on. Even if I have some stuff going on in the city and stuff like that, it gets rescheduled. So Tuesdays of my life has been this. And thank you for joining us. For anybody that is wondering why we describe ourselves, because we're not only on YouTube, Instagram Live, and Facebook Live and stuff like that, but we have a Spotify. And on Spotify, you can't see our face for accountability. And
that's right.
Accountability, or our awesome background that is not sponsorship, because I'm the treasurer. I don't accept blood money. But if you look at it very closely, you can see the idea behind what we're putting out into the world. But I am a big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones and artifacts from doing this for the last 12 years, from writing books and doing shows and going to protest and going to die-ins and medical events. There are some on our page. Again, as we open the show, we are not, I repeat, not going to share any photos or anything like that directly on this show, but you can go to our page if you want to thank the nurses that we mentioned at the beginning of the show. If you want to find out how you can help, there is a bleed aid event going on at one of the churches coming up, and that's going to be on our page. So again, thank you for your candor on our page and the niceties that you leave us. How do you get to this point? How do you see so much tragedy, so much of the world burning down and still keep going? Well, we have a mission statement
and our guiding principles, which serve as kind of the glue to keep all of this together.
Yep. And it allows us to move in ways most organizations don't, because most organizations do not leave something behind. So when me and Brother Washington are gone, they'll have a foundation. They'll have organizations that they can reach out to, that we've built and networked, little pebbles that got thrown at us in the road to build our walls. So we are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, provoked, attacked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, yes, most often, police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice, yes, voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable, yes, accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice. Equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter. Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
All right. And as we talked about earlier, we have our mission statement and our guiding principles. This is the thing that keeps all of this together, because there's a lot of us that do this work together. So how do you do it with all the strong personalities and allow us to work together without imploding? So these are the CSRN guiding principles. All Black lives matter, queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, wealthy Black lives, differently able Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
And Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe.
Ashe.
Principled struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe.
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe.
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe.
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe.
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe.
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
And as you said earlier, big shout out to the Black nurses that were on the scene, while others were, not knowing what to do next. It was them that stepped up. And that's beautiful about our community. You can say what you want, but when it's time for the people to step up, that should step up, they do that.
And I also want to give a special shout out to a friend of mine. I haven't seen all the stuff. I have been offline since Saturday to avoid the viralness of tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
But Jim Zaleski, very good artist friend of mine who was grazed or hit in that event. He is taking artwork that he made and the proceeds from the artwork that is being sold. He's going to find the victims, and if there's a fund or something like that going on, he's going to donate the proceeds to that. So,
all right, and we'll see what we can do too.
Yes.
All right.
Especially about possibly putting something together. I know Food Not Bombs and some other organizations were saying they wanted to put a care package together for the nurses. So reach out to us and we will do what we can.
All right. Hey, let's take a short break and we're coming back with our guest. It is not over. I felt like we were getting close out. I was done. All right. All right. Hey, this is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
It's the Panama Canal.
En esta hermosísima ciudad de Orlando.
I'm here in Barranquilla, Colombia, and in sunny Miami. Daytona Beach, mis amigos, that's where we're at today.
Desde la ciudad de Cartagena, Colombia.
We are in Orlando right now, here in Florida.
I'm Helene Sheets, Director of Marketing and Communications at beautiful Lourdes University, and we've been a proud sponsor and supporter of Voces Latinas TV for over a decade. It has been a fantastic partnership. It's been our doorway into the Latino community. We've met so many incredible people, created so many partnerships. Our students absolutely love the connections we've made through Voces Latinas TV, and we're looking forward to at least another decade, 2 decades.
I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. Hey, well, we come to you live from Mott Branch Library, and I want to give a big shout out to the branch manager, Kevin, Andrea, Teresa, Olivia, the sister that does security here. Man, every time we get here, Jody, they always roll out the red, black, and green carpet for us, make sure all the doors are unlocked. As we're partners with the Lucas County Library. So whenever we have a podcast, they always have our room ready for us. So shout out to Mott Branch Library, or Maconda, as they used to call it, or they probably still do on the slide. Hey, all right. One of the things with CSRN, whenever we're introducing a guest, well, it's really family, but we'll just say guests for right now. We always ask who they are, what are they wearing, and what are we talking about? So who are you? What are you wearing? And what are we talking about today?
All right. I am R. Carter Thomas. I'm a licensed independent social worker and trauma-informed therapist as well. What I got on right now is Actively Black, right? It's a company, FUBU, by us, right? So Actively Black is a company. I love their gear because it promotes us.
All right. So what are we talking about today? Why do we have you here? All right. And what's going on?
Well, you have me here to talk about men's mental health.
Right.
This is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and we want to get into this conversation as to why. What's important about it? Why do men need it?
Right. Well, I'm gonna get right into it. I've got my my cheat sheet here. I'm gonna bring this microphone down just a bit. Yeah, it comes. Yeah, we got the good one, so it will not break. All right, or we'll just send you the bill. All right, that's what we did to Blair Johnson last week. All right, okay, we're talking about good company. Let me put the graphic up there. All right, we got it up at the top. We're talking about good company, Christian counseling. Where did that name come from? And man, what led you to counseling and eventually a business owner?
Okay, so first the name, my last name is Thomas, and Thomas, one of the definitions of Thomas is good company.
Oh, okay. I like, Jody, you should be writing this down, Jody. All right, we can use that. All right, one of us got to change our name to Thomas, but we can use that.
So that was that. the Christian counseling part came from me literally sitting down with a life coach, and we was coming up with a name for the business, right?
Yeah.
And so we just was exploring names, right? What do we want to say, right? What do we want people to know as to what service I'm providing? And so I wanted people to know that I'm providing biblical-based counseling. And so that's where the name came from.
Okay, so I know a lot of people in this field may not own their own company. So how did you go from, man, being employed to being able to employ? Man, okay, that was good. All right.
It was good.
So how did that happen for you?
How about this? I was let go. I was released.
Oh, okay.
I was fired.
You were somebody emancipated you.
Just
all
right. Yeah,
Yeah, I like
emancipated.
that.
I love that.
All right.
So I was emancipated from this job. And while I was emancipated, I literally was talking to people, right? And I'm looking for work and I couldn't find no work. And so I'm just meeting with people and talking. I'm meeting people and talking. We're talking about my next step, right?
Right.
And so they started talking to me about opening up my own practice. It was something, I have a license. I'm a licensed independent social worker, and that independence give me the ability to have my own agency. What we used to say, hanging up your own shingle, right? Your shingle is your business name, right? That's what we used to say all the time. But I wasn't literally going to do that. I didn't know that I had positioned myself through schooling, through licensure to become have my own practice. I just didn't. I was always looking to work for somebody. How about that?
Okay.
I was always looking to work for somebody, but when I couldn't find work nowhere, they gave birth to good company.
Okay. And man, it's Men's Mental Health Month. For you, why should men consider their mental health when the way I grew up, we don't talk about it? It's survival of the fittest. Never let them see you sweat. Walk it off. Never show your weakness. Don't ask for directions. So why should we, with all of that so-called man stuff that's been taught to us, why should men consider their mental health?
Listen, I know you had a question as to what's got me into this field.
Yeah.
Even, right. So even in this area where we at right now, I had a cousin, he was in law school and he had what's called a psychotic break. Right. And so I'm a child, and this was like one of my favorite cousins. And he literally in the middle of Foster, right back here. I mean, Forest, right back here in the middle of the street, really, like we say, out of his mind, right?
Man.
So he had to be taken to the state hospital, the one that's on Detroit, but it was an old hospital on Detroit Avenue. Remember that old one used to be in Detroit? My cousin was there. My mother took me there to see him, and that had such an impact on me. For years, I would have nightmares because I was in that facility. The way that they treated our people was just so inhumane, right? So I remember that and how my cousin was being treated in that system, right? Then years later, it was my sister, my biological sister, had an emotional breakdown, right? And so my sister would call me. My sister has been in every psych ward in this city. I've been in every psych ward in this city to see my sister. This long before I even started working in the field, I was already going to psychiatric units to see my sister.
So you got a chance to see it firsthand as a visitor, not just a clinician, but you saw it as a visitor. You saw it as a family member. And like you say, you saw how we were being treated, how much more love was needed there and humanity was needed there. And sometimes if you want to change something, man, be a part of it.
Yes.
You know, that for a lot of things, that's how you do it. Some people say, well, you can't change it from the inside. Well, I can't change a complainer from the outside either.
Okay.
So you're going to have to pick your poison. You're going to either be a part of the solution or the complainers. Either way, you know, I'm not mad at you. Right. But you do you, I'm going to do me.
Yeah. And I hear that. And so then the other thing, Brother Washington, I started working in this field, and I started working in the field of substance abuse, you know, and I was involved with a couple of agencies here in town. And one of the agencies I was working for, it was for men that was inpatient, right? In the inpatient facility for the men, they had mental illness. And I'm like, I don't know anything about this. Right. I didn't know what was, I mean, other than, You know, again, even though I had experience with my family, I still was limited in my knowledge, right? And so this agency I was working on, every day I came to work, man, they was constantly asking me, "Did you register to go to school? Did you register to go to school?" I was like, "What in the world's going on here?" It was, you know what I'm saying? But it was a Black-owned, Black-operated agency, and they was constantly saying, "You need more education."
Man,
right? So I'm working with these men with mental health issues, and I didn't have enough education. So when I went to University of Toledo, it was for mental health technology.
That's awesome.
They said, "What you want to take?" I'm working with these men. I don't even know what's even going on.
All right. I wanted to talk to everyone about you, and let me put this up here. All right. So who are you? All right. This is Art Carter. Yes. Who are you? All right. One of the things that we do here, we will stalk your page. All right. It's almost like we're hiding by the trash can or the bushes. Let's find out. All right. Hi, it says I'm Carter Thomas, the founder of Good Company Christian Counseling. I love people and want to help, man, and that's something to have both of those together. Some people want to help, but you don't love. He says, and couples and want to help couples who suffer from depression, anxiety, and anger issues, improve the quality of their life. He says, I've been afforded with the opportunity to serve various individuals, couples, and families in the community for over 20 years. That's a long time, all right? That's almost longer than I've been alive, but hey, that's neither here nor there. It says, I have you didn't say all of this in your opening. You just said, all right, let's see, we get the truth here. You said you went and got some training, all right? I can get training down the street. I can get training online. It says, I have a master's of social work from the University of Michigan. I'm a licensed independent social worker, supervisor destination. That's the big boy right there. All right. All right. To learn more about his experience, you can go to the Good Company Christian Counseling page, and we'll share that page later on. Man, what are some of the misconceptions that you've heard about getting help and getting counseling that keeps us with that stigma?
Well, one of them, the biggest one is people say, I'm not crazy. People use that line, there's nothing wrong with me. Why do I need to talk to a counselor? Well, the people that I've counseled, I counsel business people, right? I mean, they have their own business and the pressures of being a businessman, right? They need to talk to somebody, what they deal with, what's going on in their family, right? So that's one of the other things is that people just needing to talk. And a lot of times you don't even know that you and I could have a conversation.
Right.
And in our conversation, you will say something. And in many cases, you'll come up with your own answer.
Yeah.
My own solution. But many times people don't have the right people to talk things out with. How about this? They go places where people are judging them. They say, I did this.
That's right.
They just say I had a problem with pornography. And then people are like, oh, pornography? Like,
right.
So then people, when people respond to you that way, well, I don't want to tell you nothing.
You shut down completely.
Exactly.
And now you're isolating, which is not going to make things better.
Not at all. So that's another thing I feel is like how people respond to people once they say, I need help with my mental health. Here's the other thing. I was on a radio program one time, and we was literally talking about child sexual abuse and domestic violence. When I started talking about child sexual abuse, personal as well as domestic violence, everybody in the room got nervous. I'm like, but y'all invited me to talk about this, and I'm making it personal.
Right.
And everybody, they got so uncomfortable, and they was like, oh my God, I didn't know you was gonna say that.
Okay, so we always tell people, if you didn't want to hear what we had to say, you shouldn't have invited us, all right? Now you know. All right, part of the company's name is Christian Counseling, and we were talking about this during the break.
Mm-hmm.
How does faith play in counseling? How would you answer that for the people that are watching right now? Even though Christian counseling is in the name of hip hop. Let's see. All right. So how does faith play a role in counseling?
Well, one of the things is that when we're talking to people, it's like, what's your belief? What do you believe in? So even when we just talking about as far as counseling, do you believe that counseling would help you? Right. And so people put their faith in all types of things. I just want to know where your faith is at. So coming from a Christian standpoint, I am using biblical-based counseling, right? But I think I've shared this with you before. My very first client here in Toledo was Muslim. Right? So I wasn't giving him biblical-based counseling, but what I was doing, because I knew something about Islam, I was talking to him about what principles do you live by in your faith?
That's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? So it becomes that. It's like, this is your faith. How does it help you with your mental health?
I've never been asked that before like that. I'm gonna go back to the mosque. How did he get so smart? And after one meeting, all right, I'm gonna mess everybody up. That's why I'm gonna say, hey, look, you need to check out our Carter Thomas at Good Christian, Good Company Christian Counseling.
Yeah, but that's what it was really. And so when I was counseling this gentleman,
that's good.
It was really about what his beliefs were, right? And how does he? So when he's talking about if you pray 5 times a day, let's talk about that, because that's what he's telling me.
Yeah.
Right. So if you having this, because he was actually mandatory to come to me. His job made him come.
Okay.
Right? So of course he was just trying to get in somewhere fast.
Yeah, I got you.
So you know what I'm saying? I just think we just linked up because he was looking for some help, right? And he needed it fast because the job said you need to get some help. And so I just started talking to him about that. How does your faith affect your job, your performance on your job? You know, he had depression. He was suffering from depression. But I'm saying, how do you use your faith? How do you use that praying 5 times a day to help you with depression?
That's a great question. And I'd have to start thinking about it. Maybe I may have to make some adjustments. Maybe I have to start thinking about my mental health.
Yeah, because you use your faith. So, of course, I know you and your wife, and I've had the pleasure of being involved in your lives for so many years. But I see the way that y'all move and the way that y'all do things in the community is because of your faith. Your faith is the thing that leads that, right? So when people come in front of me, I want to know, how does your faith help you with your daily living?
That's right, because we just can't just come to church and come to the mosque, and then that's it.
Yes.
As if it was just an event, place to go.
Right.
How can we practically use our faith, like you said, in everyday life? And if we can't, then we really need to talk to someone that can help us.
Yeah.
Because some of us may not even know that we can use it in our day-to-day life.
And that's the thing.
That's
and
good.
This is why as we continue to talk, you done asked me plenty of times, right?
Yeah.
And then we got to continue to put the message out there that it's normal. This is normal for us to sit down and talk to somebody. Nobody have a problem going to a credit counselor.
No.
School counselor.
No, we don't.
Career counselor.
No, we don't. No.
You want a loan? You got to go talk to a counselor.
Yeah, and for my brother-in-law, when he was drinking, he went to a alcohol and drug counselor. Hey, I done put your business out there. You need to give me my $20, all right, right now, or I'm gonna say something else. But yeah, but it's true. We may make some light of it, but when it comes to this, no, we don't. We don't equate it the same.
We don't equate it the same.
Wow.
And again, many times, listen, so I've worked on a job where my duties was to help people find work. Okay, but they had to come in and talk to me about, okay, how about this? What happened on the last few jobs? Why wasn't you successful on those jobs? So I can't set you up for another job until we address these issues that you had on the last few jobs.
If it was anger,
right?
I'm always feeling down,
right?
I'm always paranoid. Always asking, why are you asking me that? Well, somebody got to drop the fries watching this. All right. Yeah. But right. Unless we really take a good look at it, some of us may not even know that something is wrong. And that leads me to my next question. How does a person know when their mental health needs attention? That's for, I guess that could be for men or in women.
Yeah. Okay, so just look at this. You go to work day in and day out, right? And you come home, but when you come home, you ain't talking to nobody. You just go straight to your bedroom and you stay in the bedroom until they say dinner is ready. And you come out the bedroom, you eat dinner, and then you go back. Well, that's isolating. That's avoidance, right?
Yeah.
And so if you are practicing these types of things, even when we talked about as far as people over the use of substance.
Yeah.
So you using alcohol all the time to go to sleep?
All the time.
So what is that about? So people get into behaviors, again, being suicidal, having suicidal ideations. Ideations is thoughts, people.
Right.
So we have these things, but it's like we're not talking to anybody about these things that is distressing to me. Right? I can't sleep because I'm anxious all the time. It's hard for me to go to work because I know I have to do something that I'm not prepared to do. So now I'm anxious about everything. I can't drive down the street, right? I know people that this is actually happening to them day in and day out, and they're not talking to people about these symptoms that's affecting them day in and day out. So one of the things that we look at when we look at disorders, real simple, is it affecting your daily living activities? Is this preventing you from going to work? Right? Is this preventing you from going to school?
Yes.
Is this from preventing you from leaving the house? What about your hygiene?
Yes.
What about how your house is, right? So even when we talk about hoarding, I was talking to a client, and so she was telling me about her husband and everything. I said, "It sounds like your husband's a hoarder." She said he didn't throw away nothing. So he had tubes and stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. And so she gonna go and clean it up. I say, you don't know what you're doing to that man. If you're gonna clean up all of his stuff, you don't know what she's doing.
That's right.
I'm tired of this stuff. I'm tired of it. So she did it. Dude had a fit. So now you got to deal with that.
That's right. That's right. I want to I've got a couple other questions to ask you about self-care and gratitude, but before we go, I wanted to share your page. Your website. This is Good Company Christian Counseling, and this is at goodcompanycc.org, or just put that in your web browser, and the first thing you'll see is Good Company Christian Counseling and life coaching. There's this home screen. There's the about thing. That's where we got all the information. We got all the good. Man, this guy was smarter than we thought, Jody. All right. He's messing up the curve. All right. The services that you provide, how to contact, and much more. And it's
articles on that page too.
Right. So also you see about us. You've got the services there, how to contact. Man, you got some of the setups. You got the breakthrough, the Men's Day. There's a lot of things on his website that you can check out. The kind of sets the stage where, I think I can talk to him. He seems regular, well, until you get to know him. But and here's a phone number right here, 419-822-7319. And you can email him at goodcompanycc, at gmail.com. Oh, here's the location. That's 2475 Collingwood Boulevard. Okay, where is that close to?
Is diagonal to Scott High School.
All right, so
right by Scott.
All right, so how long have you been there?
I've been at that location 6 years.
All right, that's an awesome building too.
Yeah, you come by a couple times.
Yeah, that's an awesome building. That's an awesome building. All right, two things that we need to ask. You're a counselor. Well, we saw his credentials, so I don't even know if I should just be calling him a counselor or life coach, or you saw all those letters. All right, so what is it that you do for self-care? How do you rewind or rebalance at the end of the day, end of the week?
One of the things is I exercise, and even earlier today, I had to go get a massage. And I'm saying that, so even when my massage therapist was working with me, listen, massage therapist, right?
Okay.
As she was working on me, she was like, as she was working out these kinks, she was talking to me, what happened? Why do you have these knots in your body? Right. And it's because I carry a lot of stuff. And so it's a book out called The Body Keeps the Score. It's a trauma-informed care book called The Body Keeps the Score.
Okay.
And so when I'm carrying a whole lot of stuff and I go see her, she's like, yeah, you've been carrying a lot of stuff. So she literally works the kinks out of my body.
Okay.
Right. So then I leave there and I feel lighter because you got that knot out of my back or out of my neck or out of my leg. You know what I'm saying? Stuff I'll be carrying. So I work out on a regular. I eat pretty good. I eat pretty healthy. I got a clean eating.
All right.
And I get a massage, man.
And
I got a therapist myself.
Okay. All right. Now you hear that. So all of us need, well, I've got my person I'm talking to now. All right. So don't get in my DM saying, who do you talk to? I'm talking to him right now. All right. All right. So the last thing that we wanted to ask about is gratitude. And we utilize self-care and gratitude in the protest community and activist culture. Me being a part of that work, I know how useful it is. I've been doing this work for quite some time because of self-care and being grateful. All right. And being considerate and being kind. We can still fight the power, but we still have to have some self-care. And there's a spiritual component too, along with gratitude and these things. So 3 things that you're grateful for. What will those 3 things be?
Well, the first one is I'm grateful to my God, right? Because if it's not for my Lord and Savior, I don't know where I'm at. I'm serious. And the second one is my wife. You know what I mean? Somebody that stands with you when you going through the storms of life, right? And like I was talking about isolating in the bedroom, and your wife is still coming and get you and saying, "Hey, are you okay? What do you need?" Right? So that's so the Lord, my wife, and my children. My children and my grandchildren. I'm putting children/grandchildren.
Okay,
it means so much to me how they constantly, like my youngest is 16. My youngest daughter is 16, but even her just how she responds to me, how she reacts to me, right?
That's awesome.
You know, so you really feel grateful that a person is responding to you that way. You know what I'm saying? I know you got boys, but I got boys and girls. My daughter, man, when I'm telling you, man, it means something, man. It's huge, man.
Hey, would you be willing to come back? It doesn't have to be Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, but anytime you feel that there's some wellness information that needs to be shared, not only to the activist community, but everybody that watches our page and follows us on all of our social media platforms. Would you be willing to do that?
Oh, most definitely.
All right, so we got him. We got him signed up for 5 seasons, just like that, Jody. All right. Hey, man,
I do want to just throw this last thing out before we close out, because this month being Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, I got one guy I've offered. Anybody that don't have insurance, I need 4 more men that needs counseling that don't have insurance, and money has become an issue. I'm telling you right now, I will see you for free. Don't let money be the issue if you need help. I already got one guy. I need 4 more.
All right. Run that one more time, because I think that's one of the barriers that a lot of us might use to get out of talking. What did you just say?
A lot of times people don't have the money. They don't have the insurance to even get help. So they don't even go and get help. So when it was laid on my heart to just serve men this way this month, it was even before you contacted me. And so when you contacted me, I said, great, I get to tell them on the podcast that, because I don't put it's out there on Facebook. Right. And I done said it. It's a page that it's Black Clinicians in Toledo.
Okay, we need to share that.
Yeah, Black Clinicians of Toledo. We have over 140 Black clinicians that signed up for that, and all our information is there. All our information is there, and so I posted it on that page, and so some clinicians have, but again, only one. I got all these counselors, and don't nobody have anybody, and one person contacted me. That's what I'm saying. I need 4 more.
Okay, and with the advent of what happened at the Old West End Festival, let's share it on our page, because I think a lot of us that may be experiencing trauma from either being there or close proximity. Now with us talking to you, and then now we're offering another resource. Not only you can have the possibility of seeing Mr. Thomas at no cost. Also, we can have that page with the other clinicians on there too.
Yeah, please.
All right. Hey, it looks like we're almost at 7 o'clock, Jody. Hey, we're going to take a short break. We got our brother R. Carter Thomas from Good Company Christian Counseling. Thank you for being here, brother. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, this is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
All right, we are back. Hey, let's do something with the music right now. We got some of our CSRN music playing in the background. And if you notice something shiny, I think I don't have my hat on, so I'm letting the world know that there is no hairline, but it's okay, all right? I had a jerry curl back in the 80s.
Paid for it in the 90s.
Yeah, paid for it in the 90s. Yeah. So, man, I want to give a big shout out to our brother Carter Thomas from Good Company Christian Counseling. Let's put his logo up there again. Maybe we can send him the bill for this. Yeah, Good Company Christian Counseling. You can find him right there on Collingwood. He said just kind of across the street from Scott High School. If you get to Winthrop, you went too far. All right, right between Black Kite and Scott, you'll find him right there at the building there. Really nice building right there on the left. If you're going south, right. If you're going north.
So it's in the same place as Black Kite, that low.
No, it's right next to it.
But it's the same building.
It's the same parking lot, not
Okay.
the same building. All right. I don't want to say he got the good bill. I don't want to say he got the good building because we won't be able to go back to Black Kite. We'll be talking about them on live. All right.
Well, we're about to because they have their TRL. I think it's a Black Kite or Handmade, but we'll get into that in a moment.
Hey, listen, before we get to our community updates and our shout outs and solutions, I wanted to run a couple of stories from this week's Final Call newspaper. You can find the Final Call right here at Mott Branch Library. The staff here allows us to put a few issues out, and you'll find the brothers on the corners of Bancroft, Detroit. You can also pick up the paper at Bobby Howard's at Indiana. Nebraska and Hawley. All right. And we got them at Powell's and other locations too. This issue is No Trust, No Peace regarding the ongoing negotiations with the U.S. and Iran and everything that's happening in Gaza and Lebanon. Here's the story that I wanted to read from the Final Call newspaper. It says, bombs fell in the war-torn Middle East at Final Call press time. Even as on and off again ceasefire in the U.S.-Israel war on Iran entered its fourth month. It says, with distrust rising among warring parties and fractures appearing in President Donald Trump's grip on Republican legislators, the war could explode into all-out battle again, particularly due to Israel's attacks and expansion into Lebanon. Iran has said continued attacks into Lebanon is a red line to peace talks. Lastly, it says such attacks moved Donald Trump to launch an expletive-laced scolding of Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. That was in the June 1st conversation. So you've probably seen that online, and it is not going well for politics right now.
And I saw some clips about they talked about some of the ceasefire while they were firing.
And I sometimes I say you got to make that make sense, because how are we talking about ceasefire and we're still
lobbing
we're
bombs.
Still at war. We're still lobbing bombs, and it's just something to really consider, especially now. And the second article I wanted to process is the Congress members say conditions dire at New Jersey detention center amid protests in reported hunger strike. As of right now, as they're rounding everybody up in the name of ICE, some citizens, some seeking asylum. It says that this is from Newark, New Jersey. It says Democratic members of Congress on May 27th say they observed dire conditions within a federal immigration detention center in New Jersey, where protesters have been demonstrating for days and asserting that detainees are on a hunger strike. U.S. Representative Jerry Nadler, a Manhattan Democrat, said detainees at Delaney Hall in Newark were given small portions of food that very often contain maggots, and that the only medication they receive is Tylenol. Lastly, he said one woman, he said, had a lump in her breast and was still waiting on a mammogram more than a month into her detention. Another detainee was suffering from colon cancer but wasn't receiving any treatment. Family, you can find these stories and many others in this week's edition the Final Call newspaper. And as we said earlier, we do have some issues that we'll be laying out here at Mont Branch Library. So shout out to Kevin and the staff that allow us to leave the papers here for everybody to come and get. Hey, Jody, I think that's it for me for our national and international take on some of the things that's happening. What are some of the things that you've been to and that you wanted to let everybody know that's going on in the community?
Well, some bright news and everything in the community. These are just some of the past events that I was made aware of or was able to attend. Thursday, June 4th, there was the Breaking the Glass Professional Networking Mixer at 519 Reynolds Road. That is Club Evolution, where many of the guests that we've already had on the show, of course, Blair was here last week.
Right, Blair Johnson. Yeah.
We're honored in that for being entrepreneurs and business owners and stuff like that. That was at 6 to 8 p.m. Again, that was at Club Evolution, sponsored by Breaking the Glass Networking Events. Moving on, Friday, June 5th, there was the Pizza in the Park Spring fundraiser, and this was at Veterans Memorial Park, 340 Jennings Road, Rossford, Ohio. If you were able to make that, that started at 5:30. It was by at least a good friend of mine. I'm not sure if she's actually been part of the protest thing, but since I'm a city official and all that good stuff, but shout out to Brina Reynolds from Wood County Commissioners and everything like that. Going forward, in still highlights from the thing, I was able to attend the OSN parade for, I believe, my 11th year or so. I've been in the parade that many times, either with Dems or Blair or different organizations. I was there with Elgin a few times. This year, I decided to march with Palestine. So shout out to everybody there that kind of saw me in the midst and gave me the side eye. But yeah, this isn't what I do on keyboards. This is what I do for a living. So if I see that there's a cause bigger than my community or myself, I will walk with them. And it was very interesting to walk with them. We had rain. So
yeah, I saw that.
A little interesting, but about the time we got to Bancroft, it was pretty much over. So I was thankful for that. It wasn't like it was today. Today was a little bigger downpour, but shout out to everybody that was able to show up in March. And again, my deepest prayers go to the victims and everybody that had to witness that afterwards at the Arboretum and stuff like that. But to the ones that could get out before all of that, I've been doing the festival for years. This was the 53rd, and hopefully, I know there was a press conference today, so shout out to Venice and our other city council members and Wade. I'm not sure what it said because I've been responding to people and doing what counseling I can and keeping myself sane off of social media, because I know there was a lot of videos going around viral that I did not need to see. But to the people, to the organizers, to the emergency responders and everybody else, thank you for your service. And hopefully we'll figure this out for the rest of festival season. Lastly, there was the Fish Fry Poetry Night at the SOS Club. And that is hosted once a month by Vincent R. Hoskins. If you look him up on Facebook, and shout out to Rag, Shelby, and Deja May. That were some of the features at the event. I believe the address, and I believe they'll be doing it next month. I may or may not be the feature. We'll see.
All right.
When the flyer comes out, but that is 5267 North Detroit in Toledo, Ohio.
Okay, I know where that is.
Yep. So that's some of the things that I was able to see. And moving forward into this week, there are quite a few things going on. Also some stuff you can reach out to and find out more information with the gun violence and stuff like that. But coming up that I am aware of this Friday at 7 p.m., there is Cyril Ramon's Music Palooza or something. For mine from very beginning of my career, that is going to be at the Blarney Event Center this Friday at 7 p.m. Also coming up is the second Saturday Salon Fellowship of Reconciliation with Linda Alvarado and Dr. Elliot Ratzman. I hope I'm saying that right. It's Ratzman.
Yeah, we'll find out when we go there.
Right. But that is this Saturday at 6 p.m. and it's going to be at 2357 Scottwood in Toledo, Ohio. Also coming up, happening right now as well is the TLR Toledo Listening Room open mic. And speaking of Handmade, that is at Handmade this week. They alternate between Handmade and Black Kite. This event is at Handmade today. It started at 5:30. It's over at 9 p.m. So if you're looking for an open mic to go to, I implore you to go. Some upcoming events also as well. This Thursday at 5 p.m. is the first art loop of the year put on by the Arts Commission. It is called Starburst. It is a celebration because phase 1 of the Glass City River project is complete. So you'll be able to go and see the park and the other activities. It is from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. That is 2 Main Street, Toledo, Ohio. Also, this Friday, 6 p.m., there is the Party in the Park Riverwalk celebration. That is 400 Water Street, Toledo, Ohio. It is from 6 to 10 p.m. If you would like to go and be out there, I'm looking for what band is playing this week. If I can really quickly, Chloe and the Steel Strings, good friends of mine, Double Take, Buskers. We got the Lighthouse as the performing DJ, family fun activities. And then there is the MLK Bridge will be lit up for the first time at 9:45 p.m. So I thought it was already, maybe they added some more lights. And stuff. But that is going on this Friday at 6 p.m. This Saturday at 10 a.m., there is the 2026 Home Ownership Fair. And that is from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at Scott High School Community Hub, 2400 Collingwood Boulevard. So if you're looking for home ownership, I believe Shannon with a C is the one that told us about that maybe a couple of weeks ago. So if you're looking to buy a home and stuff, that would be the place to go. This Saturday at noon, there is the River Crossing Outdoor Expo at 708 Water Street in Toledo, Ohio. That is from noon until 4 p.m. And that is also celebrating the opening of phase 1 of the park. And this Saturday at 3 p.m. is the long-awaited Toledo Tech 2026. It's going to be on the Glass City Riverwalk from 3 p.m. until 11 p.m. Toledo Tech is a EDM and music festival and a whole big thing. So if you can,
I'm glad you said that because I thought it was going to be about computers. I would have been out of place there. Again, that's the 3rd time this week I showed up to those things.
It's techno, EDM, music event, vendors, all ages are welcome.
All right.
Yep. Shout out to all the people involved in making that happen. We got Darlene Cox, Dennis Cox, and of course the organization itself, Toledo Tech. So you can look them up on social media. This Saturday at 6 p.m. is Uncloistered Poetry, June 13th, 2026. That's Joni McKentry, our former poet laureate, which the Arts Commission, I believe, is still open for nominations to nominate your favorite poet to be laureate. My vote goes to Kay Renee. I'm going to say that again. Kay Renee, if you know of her, she definitely deserves the position. She's put in a lot of great work, including creating me getting up on the mic and stuff. But that is Saturday, 6 to 9 p.m. Their guest on their features for this show are going to be Sandra Gill and if they have the other person. Okay, I'm just going to go to the flyer.
All right.
We have Sandra Gill and Darren Delmar. It's really tiny writing. But hopefully, if you can make it out there and you love poetry and all that good stuff, you'll be able to make it. Continuing on until we come back, there's a couple more events. This Sunday at 11 a.m., there's the Vistula Artist Market Spring Edition, and that is going to be starting at 11 a.m. It is 1301 Summit Street. So if you want to go out and meet some vendors and you unfortunately weren't able to do it all at the Old West End Festival, that is another great place to meet some vendors and some individual creators and stuff like that. This Sunday at 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. is the River Walkers Community Bridge Walk Bridge to Bridge. So that is going on. There's lots of walking going on, lots of great stuff going on. And then for just some individual stuff that I haven't seen an event for, but I've also shared the flyers to our page, things that are going on that you might want to get involved in if you can, if you have the time. There is the Stop the Bleed training, Share Collective Free Store. It's the Collective Free Store, and UTMC presents that. That is Thursday, June 11th, 11 a.m. to noon. And then you can learn about life-saving techniques. And again, shout out to our nurses here that were on the scene and immediately got to that going. And for the last thing, actually related to that, there is the unwanted firearms disposal, where you can turn in your guns and have them turned into art. I know we mentioned at executive committee yesterday. That is 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday, June 13th, Monroe Street. They are giving gift cards away depending on what type and size gun you have and all that stuff. And here we go. It is $50 for a long rifle, $100 for handguns, $200 for assault-style rifles, and the limit is $300 per donation. So if you want to see that made into art, there is the place to go. And that is all my updates I have that I can see. If any others are going on, and if you know of any other events, healing circles, stuff like that, you are more than welcome to share them on our page, Community Solidarity Response Network.
All right. Hey, before we close out with 5 minutes of heat, just wanted to remind everybody that this is the month of Juneteenth, and there's a parade and resource fair that's going to be held at Promenade Park. I think that's what Community United.
Yeah,
that's going to be June 19th.
Dave and all, and
right,
that.
From 2 to 5 p.m. And also I think we had the
NAACP has one.
Yes, NAA.
Yeah.
Get the name right.
And
we won't have any donations. All right. The NAACP, they're having their Juneteenth celebration. Also on the 19th from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Wayman Palmer YMCA, that's 200 East Bancroft, that's Toledo, Ohio. They'll have the free haircuts, braiding, imagination station, blood pressure checks, arts and crafts, spoken word, food trucks and more. So that's going to be June 19th. And if there's somebody else that's having
there is one, the Juneteenth organization that we've worked with a couple times, they will be at the Glass City Park across from Promenade. This is their 7th annual, and they have music and guests and vendors and health officials, and a walk run also attached to that too. So very healthy day.
And we'll make sure we have their information so we can share that next week. Hey, for anybody that likes what we do, you can support us by following us on, where's the flyer at? All right. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, listen to us on Spotify, subscribe to our YouTube page, like it, share it, click the notification so that whenever we have our podcast, you'll know first. Hey, we're going to start posting on X right now. I don't know what Jody has against Elon, but
when them files get released.
Okay, then we'll start posting. All right. Okay. All right. I like that. All right. If you want to support us, you can support us via Cash App. That's hashtag CSRN Toledo 419. PayPal is CSRN 419. We do have a few more of the Black Lives Matter signs, not the ones you see here on set, but if you stop by Mott Branch Library during our streaming, we can have Jody or we can sign it.
Yep.
Or if R. Carter Thomas is still here, he can sign one too.
Yep. Get a picture with
make it be worth more. All right. That's right. That's right. And as always, whenever we close out, we don't close out with the normal meeting adjourned. We have something called 5 minutes of heat, and we close out using creative expression. We got that term 5 minutes of heat. That's from the song 5 Minutes of Funk. 5 Minutes of Funk by Houdini back in the day. All right. If you have a 5 or a 6 in front of that second number, you'll know Jody has no idea. All right. But and just as if you visit our studio, you'll see we've taken everything Black and added it to everything that we do. Even our old school classic hip hop, we turned that into a thing. And Jody provides the spoken word for the conclusion of not only our meetings, but also of our garden, all right, of our garden, and also for our podcast. So, Jody, for 5 minutes of heat, what do we have today?
Well, unfortunately, as Brother Washington mentioned, thank you all for the garden pics and the videos and the engagement. With my new hours, I will not be able to make it to the garden possibly the rest of the summer, but I will figure out a way to leave something there. So I might paint some pots or leave some artwork or some poems that Brother Washington can read.
That's right. That way I can shine.
Yep.
Finally shine at that garden.
He could read some poems for Men's Mental Health Month, but in lieu of that, in lieu of everything going around the country, because unfortunately, the weekend wasn't just bad for us. There were several other cities that, had their incidences and stuff with festivals. As the saying goes, the children will eat the village if there's no one to teach them. And that's a lot of what I see happening and going on right now with programs being cut and funding being cut and having nothing to do except sit on a screen.
Right.
And this is my piece from Black History Month and going forward into my third book, which is going to be the second title of the Childhood Trauma series, is going to be Therapy Session. So if you've seen any of my stuff since issue 2, that is what all of these poems have been about. Not me, not politics, not a certain point in time, but just the moments that I'm living through, imagining if I was sitting in a therapist chair as the patient and as the counselor. So hopefully when this comes out, you guys will enjoy it. This piece is called Subscribe. So let's begin. Peace. What happened to people? Where did we go? We don't have conversations anymore. Like, share, subscribe. Everything is a trauma bond. Yes, trauma bond or triggering in some way. Like, share, subscribe. I used to go to my friend's page and see something that actually happened in their day. And now all I see is short clips from other people's lives. Like, share, subscribe. I don't even know if you are you anymore because I don't see you anymore. Like, share, subscribe. Just advertisement and triggering information that I really did not need to know. Like, share, subscribe. But now I'm staring at it in awe because that could be me. Like, share, subscribe. It's like people don't even read the terms of service anymore. Like, share, subscribe. Just click and instantly apply this filter to whatever might be happening in your real life. Like, share, subscribe. So someone will respond to you, and the algorithm will let more of the friends who you already have see what you're doing. Like, share, subscribe. But if that many people responded to you all at once, you would be terrified and overwhelmed with the sight of every waking moment. Like, share, subscribe. I feel lost in the connections of others. Like, share, subscribe. Numb and overstimulated at the same time. Like, share, subscribe. But I just received a notification that my viewership is down. And if I apply this many filters, like share, subscribe, boosted this post, or bought this little blue check, like share, subscribe, that allows me into the exclusive opportunities and posted this many short clips, this many short clips of people abusing all of humanity. Out with ICE, out with ICE. Free Palestine, Black Lives Matter, while my head, yes, head floats in the corner. Like, share, subscribe, desensitized to chat. And funny story, when I first started streaming, I thought chat was a Tom, and there was always, yes, always someone trying to encourage you, until I found out it was just the comments. I might make $1 or $2, and my rent is due. Like, share, subscribe. Prices have gone up, and I vacation only just to take a viral pic or video that some influencer did, or I'm almost, yes, almost 90% sure might not even be the real them. Like, share, subscribe. Since AI, yes, AI, yes, AI is the new thing, and he said, she said, I can do, so now I can be free. And the whole time you're in complete remorse, because things, yes, things don't seem to be getting any better. Autocorrect is awesome. Trying to sound human. I hope you got that line back there. But our ancestors, the people before we decided to put ourselves in tiny boxes and pay bills and listen, yes, listen to people who look down on us, but ask us for all of our wealth, didn't have therapists, didn't have health care, which seems more like a life sentence into a debt that you might not be able to afford. They had nature and ancestors and long walks and breaking bread with each other and villages, yes, villages that relied upon one another and accountability and making mistakes until you get it right. Not letting some generated program that stole from other people's mistakes of getting it right make yours empty. That's what logging on feels like now. So I ask, what happened? Yes, what happened to people? Where did we all go? Sucked into our own devices, our own personal hells, obsessing over something that could give us nothing back but an empty black hole that is ever hungry and does not know compassion for humanity because it has none. It is only capable of imitating what we feed it. And as we give ourselves less and less, maybe it does look more like reality. Like, share, subscribe, and peace.
And as always, we snap our fingers. I want to thank you once again, Jody. This is our 12th year with 5 Minutes of Heat. In our 6th year doing this, whatever this podcast thing is. Mad respect. And I know you're not going to be at the garden, but maybe something will happen. Maybe they'll hire me to be this. Okay, maybe
I'll be dropping off you some poems to read.
All right.
There was an event today at 1 o'clock at noon at the market right there on Nebraska.
All right.
Happened, so
yeah, that was our. We were there. Talking about, man, is it complimentary plants that you can, I wish Sister Yvette was here so she could talk about that. Well, they did that today. And also you could join us at Eden Urban Garden. That's every Sunday, 4 p.m. Bring your gloves, bring some water, bring a good attitude. And as always, all lives can't matter until what? Black lives matter. And Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. Justice or else?
Yeah.
Peace.